Senate shuts down the border bill led by an Oklahoma senator. The chaos on Capitol Hill. And tributes continue for a beloved Oklahoman country music star. The impact he leaves behind.
Plus, we've got fire danger tomorrow potentially, and mild temperatures to end out the week, and a cold front potentially bringing snow to portions of Oklahoma for this weekend. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Kaylee Carnine. We begin tonight with the bipartisan border deal penned by Oklahoma Senator James Lankford, failing to pass through the Senate months after negotiations.
OU Nightly's Ireland Fitzer is live in the newsroom with more on this chaotic day at the Capitol.
That's right, Bailey. Disappointment from Senate Democrats today after the bipartisan border package was shut down in a 49-50 vote. Key supporter of the bill in Oklahoma, Senator James Lankford, saying yesterday Republicans were already planning to shoot the bill down.
That told me flat out, if you try to move a bill that solves the border crisis during this presidential year, I will do whatever I can to destroy you. They have been faithful to their promise.
The bill would have gave Biden broad power to shut down illegal crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border. It also includes tens of billions of dollars in foreign aid. President Biden turning blame to former President Donald Trump for being behind the effort to tank the bill. Reporting in the newsroom, Ireland Fitzer, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ireland. And many are still mourning the loss of Oklahoma native and superstar Toby Keith. Keith was known for his music and being a Sooner, but also a restaurant owner. I spoke to one of his friends about the impact he made on Oklahoma. Toby Keith was the Oklahoma standard for many.
That to me is what I see in Toby Keith, the inspiration and the impact that he made and the achievements. Not only to go from, playing in those little honky tonks to being a huge star in Las Vegas.
His passing is emotional for many, but especially for those who were close to him.
I've been emotional all day because he was a good friend and he was there for me during my challenge. And it's sad that at 62 he has passed, but his legacy and his days of remembrance will always continue.
For Major Ed Polito, Toby Keith was more than just a celebrity. He was a friend.
He called me his warrior, and to me, if you knew Toby, that was what he was all about.
On August 17, 2004, Polito was hit by a 250-pound roadside bomb while serving that resulted in the amputation of his leg. And it was Toby Keith who got him to the other side.
A legacy of service and sacrifice and of courage for understanding what this wounded warrior went through.
His legacy also stands inside his restaurants.
Like anyone of his stature, it will elevate the fundraising efforts for the Kids Corral. And I think for me, for the opportunity to have people give to that cause and to also continue to live his legacy through it will be impactful.
Polito says his faith is what guided him in life.
He's a man of faith, and he's in heaven.
Reporting, Bailey Coyle, OU Nightly. Toby Keith is also known for the Belmar Golf Course and Country Club. We're told any flowers or cards sent to Belmar will be delivered to his family at their private home.
Yeah, really sad news for our state, but switching gears, we might be looking at some rain chances this week.
Let's get right over to OU Nightly meteorologist Josh Duncan for a look at those chances. Josh.
That's right. We are tracking the radar this afternoon, which does show some rain developing in the eastern Texas panhandle. That's going to make its way east tonight, and it will bring rain to western Oklahoma late this evening into the overnight hours. A slight chance of a few sprinkles here in Norman, but it won't amount to much. The other big story this afternoon, the winds gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. They're going to stay high tomorrow, and you combine that with lower humidity, that's going to lead to a risk of fire danger before a weekend chance of rain and now snow in our forecast. Meteorologist Christine Gormley will have details on that in a few minutes.
A military airstrike kills the man responsible for attacks on U.S. forces in Jordan. OU Nightly's John Hornack is following this breaking news and other international headlines in the News Center.
The U.S. confirms they conducted the airstrike in Baghdad in retaliation to the we know was the commander of the Iran-backed militia Kataib Hezbollah. U.S. Central Command says the man was, quote, responsible for directly planning and participating in the attacks on U.S. forces in the region. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was dismissed Hamas's proposals for a ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza.
We haven't committed to any of the crazy demands of Hamas. There is not a commitment. There has to be a negotiation. It's a process. And at the moment, from what I'm seeing from Hamas, it's not happening.
Hamas had presented its response to a proposal for a deal by calling for a phased Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, according to CNN. And rescue efforts are underway for the 5 Marines after their missing helicopter is located in Southern California. According to the U.S. Marine Corps, the helicopter was reported overdue late yesterday while the area had heavy snow and rain. This particular helicopter is the largest in military usage and is designed for harsh conditions. And in Nevada, President Joe Biden wins the Democratic primary, but on the Republican side, none of these candidates' ballot options scored the most votes over Nikki Haley. Bailey, Kaylee.
Thanks for that, John. And the recent filing of a Cleveland County bill on homeless camps leaves Norman shelters with plans of expansion. OU Nightly's Kennedy Patterson has more on how one shelter is working to continue their impact.
Norman's homeless population has caught the eyes of Cleveland County lawmakers. A newly proposed bill would force those in homeless camps to be evacuated from their areas if they do not meet the regulations 14 days after being inspected. Norman Food and Shelter is looking to expand its services to help pick up the slack.
Our outreach team is really engaged in all levels of homelessness. So we engage here at the day shelter through the overnight shelters, and then we visit encampments as well to make sure those folks have access to what they need to survive, things to keep them warm during the winter, and then through the summer months to keep them safe and help them survive better.
While Food and Shelter is functioning fully during the day, the homeless shelter behind me, a friend's house, is working to make improvements at night.
Services. Our overnight shelter is just not at the capacity that meets the needs of this community. So we can sleep 52 people right now. We know any given night there are well over 100 people sleeping outside.
Citations will not be able to be issued if offenders accept help to resources from the arresting officer. The City of Norman will hold a meeting to discuss the funding for expanding a friend's house next Tuesday. Kennedy Patterson, OU Nightly.
And we'll keep you updated on any new information from that meeting on Tuesday.
And early voting starts tomorrow to elect Norman ward representatives for wards 2, 4, 6, and 8. Voters can also cast their vote early on Friday. Election day is February 13th.
Coming up, the Environmental Protection Agency is cracking down on deadly air pollution. Stay tuned to learn what the EPA's new plan is.
And Chile is experiencing their biggest tragedy in over a decade. When we return, see what is engulfing the country after the break.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh,
Great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The Oklahoma Corporation Commission giving a new directive to disposal wells near Prague. OU Nightly's Emma McAndrews has this and other headlines in today's Earth Report.
The OCC orders an oil and gas wastewater disposal wells within 6 miles of the earthquake's epicenter to cease operations by February 17th. The 5.1 magnitude earthquake happened last Friday. The OCC says this shutdown is necessary to avoid sudden pressure changes that might result in more seismic activity. The Oklahoma Geological Survey reports 3 earthquakes within the last 24 hours around the Prague area. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says they are one step closer to reducing deadly air pollution. The EPA just reducing the average annual amount of fine particle pollution, or SOOT, from 12 micrograms per cubic meter of air to 9. The EPA says the new standard will save lives, preventing 4,500 premature deaths and 290,000 lost workdays. And to some international headlines, Chile wildfires are consuming the country. Here's a look at the damage. The Chilean President Gabriel Boric says this is the biggest tragedy since the deadly earthquake back in 2010. At least 123 people have been killed from the fires, with at least 3,000 homes have been destroyed. A teacher message in a bottle found 32 years later. After a post on Facebook, it did not take long to find the students of the science teacher. Bailey, Kaylee.
Thanks, Emma. Love that story. Artificial intelligence is the newest evolution to shake the tech world. AI is a simulated machine that can process questions and answer with a human-like response. And as it gains popularity, the question becomes, could an AI affect education and take jobs from people? OU junior Katie Loera seems to think so. Forbes, the AI market is projected to reach a staggering $407 billion by 2027. All this week, OU Career Center is here to help you land a job after college.
Learn more about the different programs they're offering when we return.
This weekend, I'll give you guys the details after this. Stick with us.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
I'm starting time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Well, thanks for joining us here at OU Nightly. So temperatures have been mild and they're going to continue to be mild, but we're tracking our next cold front this weekend, and it's going to bring temperatures in the 30s for Sunday and possible snow for portions of Oklahoma. So let's get into the details of this. So Saturday, we've got that system moving in, and it was going to wrap around, bringing in that those cold temperatures Saturday night into Sunday. And we have potential for snow in the northwest portions of the state. We're going to see if that can make it into Norman on your Sunday, but we're still tracking some data with that, and that's subject to change between now and then depending on the position of that low pressure system. But here's our precip types for right now, where they're at. Right now, I do have Norman in the rain. That mixed could potentially move further south, and that snow could also move further south between now and Sunday. But here's where it's at right now. Given the latest data, we'll also have to check some more data between now and then, so stay tuned on that. But that's what's coming up here in the next several days. We do have conditions for tomorrow are going to be, we do have potential for some fire danger out in western Oklahoma, humidity between 15 to 30%, and the winds are going to be picking up from the south. So we got that warm air coming in, going to be between 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts going into your Thursday. So if you're in western Oklahoma and really anywhere in Oklahoma tomorrow, especially west of I-35, just be careful when you're burning, or try not to burn for sure. So right now it's 63 degrees. That dew point's pretty low. We've got that wind south at 15 miles per hour, and we've got rain coming in tonight possible, and you might not even be able to use your windshield wipers with that. It's going to be very light winds, but 50s tonight. Winds are going to be gusting, so you might want to bring a jacket if you're going out tonight. 50s are the low, 40s for the western parts of the state. We've got upper 60s for tomorrow, and upper 60s for the rest of the week. So 60s and 50s, and we've got that cold front moving in, 40s for this weekend. And so just basically have fun with the warmer temperatures if you like the warmer temperatures, because temperatures are going to be cooling off this weekend.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to dust off my winter jackets.
I know, me too. I know I'll definitely spend a bunch of time outside, especially before the Bedlam game on Saturday.
Exactly. Yes. A little tan in last minute, of course.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Christine. Yeah. Well, back here on campus, the Career Center is hosting a week-long career readiness event, Careerpalooza. This event is dedicated to helping students prepare for jobs and potential internships. Careerpalooza has a full schedule every day, and today's lineup was resume reviews, creating an elevator pitch, and a job fair prep with an American airline employer. The Career Center says they have tried to have an employer at every event to help students make connections and to network.
It's a great way to get your toe in the water. I think, like, you know, anytime you approach an employer, like I said, you're kind of like in your stiff, uncomfortable suit. Maybe you feel kind of nervous. This is a great way to just make it very informal and fun.
Careerpalooza goes until this Friday. And OU's men's basketball took on Big 12 newcomer BYU last night.
OU Nightly's Ryan Smith has the details on another must-win game.
And OU softball's Patty Gasso takes the stage at OU Softball Media Day before their trip down south to Mexico. See what she had to say and more coming up next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hello, I'm Ryan Smith, and it's time for sports. The tributes to Toby Keith from OU Athletics continued last night at the Lloyd Noble Center.
Our guys played their hearts out for Toby Keith tonight to get this win, and I know he was looking down on us tonight. So to everyone who hears this around Sooner Nation, friends all across the country, raise your glass tonight to Toby Keith.
And the Big Dog Daddy was honored at his designated spot for OU's game against BYU. Milos Uzang kicked off his 16-point scoring performance with the teardrop in the bucket, putting the Sooners up 17-16 in the first half. But kicking it over to later in the second half, Sooners up big, and Javion McCollum says, how do you like me now, to ice out the Cougars 82-66. Passing it over to the women, coming off a come-from-behind win over Oklahoma State, OU women's basketball looks to leapfrog TCU tonight in the LNC at 6. And junior Skylar Van looks to keep her hot streak alive after putting up 20-plus points in her last 3 games. Moving from the hardwood to the diamond, the back-to-back-to-back national champion OU softball squad starts their season with a doubleheader tomorrow at the Puerto Vallarta College Classic in Mexico against Utah Valley and 9th-ranked Duke. And head coach Patty Gasso feels like the season could be different.
So I'm able to see what kind of women rise from the ashes here. That's going to be the most important thing.
OU men's baseball squad had their preseason media day before heading to Globe Life Park for their season opener, and the Sooners skipper spoke on their mindset going into Game 1.
So I'm excited about it. They're excited about it. We're not going to look forward. We try to live our I really, as a head coach, try to live it 1 week at a time and game at a time. It's about the present and the now, because it's more important to get these kids to think about the present and the now than it is the future.
And flipping over to the mat, freshman Colin Flores makes it 3 in a row for OU men's gymnastics after being the 3rd Sooner in a row to win the CGA Rookie of the Week. Flores won the all-around title against Ohio State and Arizona on Saturday. Bailey, Kaylee, back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. And then Super Bowl Sunday is just days away, and a pair of otters are placing their bets on who's going to win.
Keep watching OU Nightly to find out which teams these otters picked as their winner. Stay tuned.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Dale Franklin at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office confirmed they will be reopening their investigation into Lexington Animal Shelter in response to recent public concerns. This comes after volunteers found animals sitting in their own feces and urine on a wire floor. The Sheriff's Office last investigated back in August and deemed that the shelter met the most basic needs. Bailey, Kaylee, back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that update. Now Americans are placing their bets for the Super Bowl, and so are a pair of otters from the Texas State Aquarium. Workers at the aquarium set up 2 ice cakes, one for the Kansas City Chiefs and the other for the San Francisco 49ers.
And the pick is in. Both otters, Arthur and Fisher, thought picking the 49ers over the defending champs sounded a little fishy, so they went with the Chiefs. We'll see if they're right this Sunday.
You know, Kaylee, I think I'm gonna have to agree with these otters and pick the Chiefs to win this weekend.
I don't know, I kind of want to see someone new win. Maybe Christian McCaffrey, I love him. So I'm kind of hoping the weather will be nice though, so we can cook out, maybe watch the game.
100%. Well, let's head right over to OU Nightly meteorologist Christine Gormley with one last look at the weather for this week and the weekend.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to continue that trend of above average temperatures. Highs tomorrow in the upper 60s for Norman, 67 for 2 to 4 p.m. and then 50s and 40s for going into your Friday. And those winds are going to be picking up from the south. We've got that warm air coming in, so Thursday is going to be great. If you love that, 90% chance of some mixed precip Sunday. So maybe outdoor time for the Super Bowl won't be so pleasant, but 43 is that high for Sunday, 46 for Monday, 50s and 60s and into next week.
Thanks, Christine, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Kaylee Carnine. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine.